Strain gauging is a process of installing strain gauges on a part to measure the deformation caused on the part by an applied load. The deformation causes strain, gives rise to strain, which is defined as the ratio of the change in length of the part to the original length of the part. The strain gauge installation process consists of bonding strain gauges to a part. We can bond 1, 2, or more strain gauges to the part, which get wired into what's called a Wheatstone bridge. When the part undergoes loading, the part deforms, and the strain gauge circuit produces a electrical voltage output that is proportional to the applied load. Strain gauges are used in experimental and real-world stress and strain analysis, and they're also used to make sensors which measure load and torque.
Why do people install strain gauges? The basic reason is to make measurements. In nature, strain is related to different variables such as force, torque, pressure, things in the engineering world or in the industrial world that people want to measure. And because there's a direct relationship between strain and those variables, installing strain gauge on a piece of material will give you measurements.
Strain gauges can be applied to almost any material in existence, metals, plastics, composites, but it can be applied to concrete, structures, wood, really anything out there.
So the number of strain gauges really depends on the application. It could be as simple as a single strain gauge on a part, or it could be multiple. We recently completed a project where we bonded 64 gauges on a single sensor, and we've completed large projects in the past where we bond hundreds of gauges to a single structure. The strain gauge configuration and wiring depends on the application and the measurement that you're looking to make. We have, engineers here have the expertise to review the design and perform, if necessary, FEA analysis, calculate the expected stresses and strains, and really help you determine what the appropriate strain gauge configuration is for your application.
Another factor of importance in strain gauging parts is the environmental protection. Technicians in our company consistently perform strain gauge installations on parts that are exposed to very harsh conditions. And those conditions can vary from extreme temperatures and pressures to challenging environments like marine environments and chemical exposure. We use and recommend materials and procedures that are suitable for the environment in which the strain gauge part will be used to ensure the survivability of every installation that we make.
The application typically drives the operating requirements of the strain gauge installation. Common applications, the most common is usually in a lab environment, which is fairly straightforward, but we can work with low temperature, high temperature, vacuum, cryogenic applications. We have experience with a lot of encapsulation or protective coatings to basically allow the strain gauge to operate submerged in water at extreme temperatures or in contact with volatile liquids.
Sensing Systems has a new state-of-the-art manufacturing facility where we have technicians that are performing strain gauge installations all day, every day. But sometimes, depending on the application, it's not feasible to perform the installation here. And we also routinely send technicians to the field to perform installations as needed. A natural extension of strain gauging is to calibrate the parts after the installation is complete. We have a dedicated calibration lab here at our facilities. We also perform calibrations in the field with the appropriate loading fixtures and reference equipment, which is traceable to the NIST.
So typically when a customer reaches out, they are speaking directly with an engineer here, and we consult with them based on any technical documentation that they may have. And using our experience here, we come up with really the best approach to accomplish what they need to do or what they want to do, combined with, our capabilities here, and match that with really the most cost-effective solution that achieves technically what's required for the application.
One very important factor in the success of this strain gauge installation is the person or technician or engineer that installs it. Strain gauging is actually to follow procedures, and some of which are very complicated and in many cases tedious. So the more you perform these installations, the better you get at it. And certain people are actually particularly good at what they do in performing and installing strain gauges to make successful measurements. We pride ourselves in the fact that we have technicians that have been with us for many years, in certain cases decades, of doing that work. And because of that, they're extremely good at it and very efficient, and therefore quick at doing successful installations.
If you need precision force and torque measurements, please contact us today. One of our engineers will take the time to consult with you on your project, provide feedback, insight, and answer any questions that you may have.